So, welcome back to my channel. So, Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock yesterday at the Oscars. I've seen this clip several times. I didn't think I was going to make a video about it. I'm like, okay, everybody's seen this. Everybody's giving their 2 cents on it. Who gives a fuck? And then I started to see the response, which wasn't a unanimous condemnation of Will Smith acting like an asshole and slapping the shit out of a comedian. Oh, he made an offensive joke about his wife. And his wife has an autoimmune disease that's causing her to go bald. Firstly, I never knew that Jada Pinkett Smith was going bald. Well, she talked about it on her podcast or show or whatever the fuck. Oh, you mean a show I don't fucking watch or give a shit about? I knew Will Smith had a YouTube channel. I didn't fucking know his family or his wife had some fucking podcast. Like, why the fuck would I know that? Why the fuck would I give a shit about that? And Chris Rock is a comedian. And the joke he made, whether funny or not, was your standard Don Rickles style roast. If you ever seen any of Don Rickles stand up or heard CDs of it or recordings of it, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. A Don Rickles style roast means you pick random people in the audience or people in the audience who you think will be good targets for a joke, and you use that. And it's often in good fun. It's a roast. And Chris Rock is the type of comedian who roasts people. And if you're famous and are nominated for a prestigious award like Best Actor, and if you look at the context of Chris Rock's fucking joke, it made sense. Because he's talking about families or couples who've been nominated for prestigious awards. And you look at Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz, and they're having a good time. And before Will Smith went crazy and slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, he was laughing. And Jada Pinkett Smith wasn't laughing. Okay. Sometimes you're not going to laugh at a joke at your expense. Do y'all forget what happened at the Oscars several years ago? Where a certain someone named Seth MacFarlane was there and literally performed a song about women having their photos leaked. And it was called We Saw Your Boobs. You probably think I'm an asshole for laughing at this, but I'm laughing at it because it is crude, it is in bad taste, but it's also funny because it's crude and it is in bad taste. And you could see the women who were mentioned got offended. But you didn't see anyone who was in a relationship with the women who were the butt of the jokes go up and slap the fuck out of Seth MacFarlane for arguably a more understandable reason to, one, be offended, and maybe two, to react violently, even though if that were the case, I'd still condemn it, because I still think it's a joke. Jokes can be offensive. Jokes can be tame. What we had with Chris Rock was the tamest shit I've seen in a long time. And the fact that people are justifying Will Smith reacting this way is baffling. Well, he made fun of his woman, and Will Smith has to defend her honor. You know what would have been a better way to do that? Gee, you won Best Actor, which he did that day. Too bad it's going to be overshadowed by his childish reaction. He could have used this moment to be like, hey Chris, I love you, I love your comedy, but I didn't appreciate the joke you made at Jada's expense. We've been going through a rough patch, we've been going through some hard times. You know, I've been seeing my wife lose her hair, I've been seeing her suffering through this autoimmune disease. It's hurting me, it's hurting my children, And he could have used this opportunity to make Chris Rock look like an asshole. Because that would have been the better way to do it, if that was your goal. If your goal was to humiliate Chris Rock, that would have been a good way to do it. If you would have done it that way. And I think people would have been like, wow, Chris, that was in poor taste. If Will Smith had been the bigger man. And you're like, well, how can you be the bigger man in that scenario? He's in his fucking 50s, for God's sake. And he's being handed a prestigious award. A award that's been long overdue, I might add. If you're going to say, well, you're just a hater of Will Smith. One, I live in PA. Anyone who's lived in PA can tell you, on some level, you've idolized and respected Will Smith, whether you've seen him in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or many of his other movies, because he's a charming man, he's a funny man, he's a charismatic man. He seemed like a somewhat level-headed celebrity. Though, to be frank, there are instances where members of the Smith family just say stupid shit where you go, how detached from reality can you be? What this also highlights to me is clearly Will Smith needs a therapist. Like, holy shit, if your first reaction after sitting with an offensive joke is to walk up on stage and to slap the shit out of the person that made the joke, you need to see a therapist. More so than anybody. There's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. Therapy is important. Therapy can transform someone into a better version of themselves. That's why I'm fucking bringing it up. And when I first saw this, I thought it was a bit. Why the hell wouldn't I think it's a bit? You don't think something like this is real. You don't think Will Smith just slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. Surely that's gotta be a staged thing, or that's gotta be improv or planned, because Will Smith was in a comedy show. The man has experience with being a comedic actor as well as a dramatic actor. So Chris Rock going along with an improv slap was probably something that I could expect. These are both comedic actors, comedic men. Surely this isn't real. And then I watched the full clip and go, what in the fuck? And all this did was make Chris Rock look good. Because Chris Rock could have punched Will Smith in the face. Chris Rock could have pressed charges against Will Smith. But Chris Rock wound up being the bigger man here, which, given the context, was probably not Will Smith's goal. The only reason I'm making this video is to throw my 2 cents out there, as everyone has done who's made a video about this topic. And also, if your response isn't the response of what the actual fuck were you doing, Will Smith, then you gotta think about your own shit, because that's a lot about you more than it says about Chris Rock. That's all I'm going to say about this. Live long and prosper and have a good day.